Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in again to Sister Talks, where we two sisters talk about life, laughs, and things that make us go, I'm Shanice, the CEO of Succeed with Shanice.
And I'm Janelle of My Core Memory Vaults YouTube channel.
And today, well, I'll just be transparent. Shanice forgot to do her homework. So having all the feelings and forgot to look up a word of the week.
That's
okay. So we're going to just move on.
Well, I have a not so recent news.
Okay.
But one that brightened my day.
Wonderful. So Janelle will start us off today.
Yes, in lieu of the word of the day, because this is a one-time thing. So I was scrolling away per use, doom and gloom per use, which, anyway. And I came across this video of Mexico's president. And
she's awesome.
It just like evidently she has been the president for some time. Let me, because I wrote down I
think since 2024.
Yeah.
It was recent. Well, we're only in 2025.
But it was their independence, and I guess that was the first time that a woman gave, obviously if she was a female president, but the first time that a woman gave the independence speech. So that's the video that's circulating. And I know it's a really the way our media is set up here, you think that everywhere is doom and gloom. They try to set it up so you think that there's no place to go and that nobody's happy, when really it's everybody's happy. We just struggling here. And I'm sure people are struggling, but her name is President Claudia Pardo. She is obviously a Mexican politician, and she is also an energy and climate change scientist, an academic who is the 66th and current president of Mexico since 2024. She is the first woman to hold the office. And it was just it was interesting to see, because how they talk about with our election, and they broke it down by ethnicity, or technically race, but they broke it down by ethnicity, and they were basically being I'm sure there's still a racial aspect to it, but basically they pinpointed other cultures and being they would never vote for a woman because machismo or whatever, but you have a whole entire country that voted for a woman. So I don't know what the excuse, what is your excuse now? But I just really wish her the best. I don't know, it was just so cool to see. I wish her the best. I wish it everything she does turns out to be so successful. And I just when you look at something and you're oh, okay, well, they're happy. Kind of when we were at the Valkyrie game. And it's oh, okay, well, they're happy. So it's things are going to be okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think even on a global scale, society here wants to make us feel like there isn't change, or not change. I shouldn't say change, but evolution happening around us. So, of course, I went ahead, because I always look at this list at the start of every year. And I think I did a post about this last year, or the start of this year. But anywho, there are a lot of female presidents out there. So if anyone is wondering, or heads of states, because I guess the title's not always president.
Prime ministers, right?
I think a prime minister is different than a president.
Well, what does Canada
learned that. Okay, well, let's see.
Yeah.
So, Dina Boluarte, I'm going to butcher it. Dina Boluarte, Boluarte, became the president of Peru in 2022, which I've always wanted to go to Peru. It's really pretty there, from what I see in the pictures. Silvani Burton, president of Dominica. She took office in 2023. Xiomara Castro. I like her name. Xiomara Castro became president of Honduras and took office in 2022. Hilda Hine, president of the Marshall Islands. I don't know where that is. Assumed the role in 2024, but also held it back from 2016 to 2020. Christine Kangaloo, president of Trinidad and Tobago, took office in 2023. Sandra Mason is president of Barbados, who became the first president of Barbados when it transitioned. We all saw that happening to a republic in 2021. That was a big thing back then.
It was just like 3 years ago.
I know, but it was a big deal when they became a republic.
Back
Anyway,
then.
it feels like forever. We've gone through so much. I'm gonna Draupadi Murmu, president of India since 2022. Natasa Perk Musar, president of Slovenia in 2022.
Really?
Maya Sandu, president of Moldova, assumed office in 2020 but was reelected in 24. Claudia Sheinbaum. Oh, I think you did her maiden name and married name.
Well, there was 3 names. I assume that was her middle name.
But she may have 2 last names.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
President Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo. Am I saying that right? President of Mexico. Just talked about her. She's awesome. Gordana Siljanovska Davkova.
Ooh.
Woof. President of North Macedonia since 2024. It seems like 2024 was a big year for women, but I have a few more. Miriam Spiteri Debona, president of Malta since 2024. Samia Suluhu Hassan, president of Tanzania since 21. Hala Tomas Dottir, president of Iceland in 24.
Tanzania?
Oh, yes, Samia.
Yeah.
President of Tanzania. Vjosa Osmani, VJOSA Osmani, president of Kosovo in 21. And then Salome Zurabishvili, Zourabichvili, president of Georgia since 28.
So it's like when the elections were happening here, it's amazing to see that so many people were like blown away by the idea of a female president. And I think obviously it's our education system, obviously it's our media, because once you see like all of these other countries, and they're beautiful countries, being able to evidently look past, if you have to look past, but like choose the best person for the job, regardless of what they hold in their nether regions. It's like you realize, or I feel like a lot of people realize, it's really backwards here and like stuck in time and like really small-minded.
Very.
For those who couldn't fathom the idea of a female president.
Yeah, because it's very interesting to see constant conversations around like women's empowerment and the suffrage movement, and yet we're in 2025.
Yeah.
And we still can't wrap our minds around that, of the possibility of a woman holding that much authority. I won't necessarily say power, but authority, by just taking office in that way. So it's interesting.
It's something.
Yeah.
And it makes me like, because sometimes I look, first, it's inspiring to look at all of these women just doing what's best for their countries. And again, I say, like, these are a lot of beautiful countries. So, like, they are being able to do what it is they want to do what's best for their country. But then it makes me look at this country and be like, why are we here? Like, and I know there's like a financial piece, right? Like, if I could, I would. But like, at some point, what would happen? Maybe this is a prompt. What would happen if all of the women just left? And maybe not all the women, because there are some women who these are my words. Shanice may not hold these same views. There are some women who are living out their degradation kink along with the male population, I feel, because they're just being outright humiliated at these rallies and in these law offices and on, like, humiliated on national television. Like, we are watching you, like, be embarrassed.
We can see you.
But like, so, I mean, y'all can stay if y'all like this so much, but like, what if we all just left? Like, I wonder what it would be like.
Well, they wouldn't be able to keep the species going. I know that.
No, because these
well, unless they
like
some
to
of the
have
women.
55 billion kids.
That is true.
Because they believe
They
that's
got time.
all. That's all they.
That'd be expensive.
Right.
That will hurt the economy, because also the women who are the consumers of said economy have left.
Because
So
who's gonna buy your want?
Amongst other things.
That like that economy piece. I think a lot of people are realizing too the power. Money talks.
Money does talk.
And I think.
But also, I feel like. Sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say, I feel like the holder of the money is even more powerful. But go ahead.
Yeah. To my point. So remember when we were talking a long time ago about California specifically, and I was like, if they want this to be a money game, then California, let it be a money game. Like, we don't need to be playing around like, oh, we need this many seats. Da, 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 da. No, hold the money. But just recently seeing this thing with Jimmy Kimmel. Sorry, I didn't mean to smack in the mic. But just recently seeing this thing with Jimmy Kimmel and Disney. It's like, we have the money.
Yep.
We have money. And once because I feel like this year I've been less of a consumer than I've ever have been since I've had a real job, has money. Obviously, when I was younger, I wasn't consuming anything because I didn't have money. But like,
and yet we were still feeling like we was thriving.
Well, there was less to consume.
True.
So now
That's
there's
true.
like, you have to buy every little thing.
That
Whereas
is
like
true.
we were getting a lot of things, not free, but we just didn't feel like we needed a lot of things, to my point. So like this year, basically went the whole year without Target, went the whole year without Starbucks. I think those were the only two, right? Besides, like, not as much on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon was my downfall, but I have dialed it back
a lot back
significantly.
though, because they do the little like comparison. Like, this year you spent.
Oh, I haven't seen a comparison yet.
But all in all, you realize how little you need. And once I think we start to realize that, and we are the holders of the money, you just start looking at things differently. Did I tell you on here, or was I saying that randomly when I was like, how I think of like billionaires now, or like just people like with big businesses now? Okay. So because I've been wanting to like shop just in general less, but more quality, I guess. But that requires you to save a bit. So I was like, okay, like I can't keep buying like little things. So now like whenever the commercials like come on, besides that Gap commercial, that Cat's Eye Gap commercial, that I enjoy. But whenever these commercials come on of like these big millionaires and billionaires, I look at them like like your little sister, like when you just open a bag of chips and they come in asking you for some chips. Because it's always like when you just get some money, here they come. Now they want to show me like all these commercials. Like, here they come. Here's this bum coming asking me for money again. Because like we have the money. Like you wouldn't have anything without us. So I just started doing that and it's made me shop a lot less.
Oh my gosh. But it does make you think when you start looking back at what you are spending your money on and then looking around to be like, okay, how has it fulfilled me? Like, how has it filled up this space that I have, whatever this space is? And you start to realize, like, yeah, that wasn't really, I mean, instant gratification, you know, but then once that 2-second or 2-hour brunch is over, what did you take away with that? I mean, yes, the food was great. And
was it though?
Exactly. In the moment, of course, because, you know, bottomless mimosas make everything great. But after the fact, what did you really bring with you? Yeah. It's interesting. Oh, it's my turn now.
Yeah, that's all I
My
have for the
day. No, that's good, though, because also, as I look up my notes, one thing we didn't mention about the president of Mexico is her soldiers, security of all women.
Her forces, yeah.
Her forces.
Or the ones that were standing for the thing, which
all
is beautiful.
women. Like, if all women.
And it's not a new concept. We talked about it literally the last episode. It's not a new concept to have like female enforcers. So like, I mean, we talk when we were younger, the only group of people they were able to point out to us were like the Candace warriors. But it's like every culture had female enforcers. And I think we're just getting back to that. First of all, because it's necessary. Like our protection is priority. But
it also just looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's just we're so cool.
I feel very much, even though it's not even my voice, it's Mexico. I'll go to Mexico. But like, she's secure. You could just tell everybody, not saying, you know, the male counterpart, but,
no, but that's
that
how
was
I
something.
would want
like
them
that's a whole nother
to
level.
feel about their enforcers.
Absolutely.
Like if you're a male and you have all male enforcers, like I'm sure you'd feel that same like, empowerment. But today, the president's a woman.
A woman.
So.
And sometimes it takes a woman to know how to protect a woman.
And
most times.
It takes both to complete the overall, like, to have complete protection. But, yeah.
Cool. Well, let's hop to something I started thinking about because I guess this is like a behind the scenes announcement. My sister has been working on my website and it has been giving me all the feels every single time I see a new update from what it was before. Even though she did the original and the original was great, but this, like, you know, I'm team level up and I feel like you put a lot more. You took it to another level towards like, now I'm thinking, how am I going to match it? Like, even though it was exactly what I described, I wanted it to look like, and then some, I'm still in this like very self-conscious space of, okay, am I showing up like the way it's presented?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense? So I started doing some writings. I'm not going to say journaling anymore because I can't keep consistency with that. But I started writing down some thoughts and it came out to this overall theme of, I mean, obviously branding a business, right? So the official theme is that, but really looking at how either businesses that I've followed or consumed or individuals that I feel that has an influence on how I look at myself in business, trying to look at how I look at my own business from a different lens. And one thing that came up for me was Judge Lynn Toller. So, and for those who don't know, look up divorce court or Judge Lynn Toller. But as Janelle knows, I love divorce court. But I realized now that I'm still in this era of trying to figure out who I am and how I want to influence and show up, that there's a lot about her in, even though it was only on TV, but it was a lot about her and how she just owned the room in the space, or the courtroom in the space, and still managed to be herself regardless on who was on the plaintiffs and whatnot, who was on the other side of her podium. That inspired me to really think about, like, how do I stay consistent in who I am, and what are those things that I want to keep consistent with who I am, regardless on the clients I'm speaking to or the partners I'm connecting with. So I ask if you've ever thought about that.
Me? You know, often, but then I've settled with the fact that, like, I change every day. Like, well, not every day, but like, I'm more of a seasonal person. So like, I'll be a whole completely different person in winter. So, but I've thought about it in terms of like, cause you know, like I also like redid my website maybe a couple months back, because like when I first did mine, it was like, this is how you show up professional. And there was a lot of like things. Oh, that's funny. I was talking to somebody else about this. There's a lot of things that I needed to unlearn that allowed me to survive in, like, I don't even want to say corporate, honestly, in like athletics, in nonprofit, you know, like there was a lot that I had to unlearn. However, I'm made myself okay, and I still struggle with this sometimes, but okay with like, I am just me. So if you're not going to like me, you're not going to like me. But I've also, like the Rick and Morty thing, like I've seen the things y'all like around here. So I'm just going to be me.
Yeah, and I've had to come to terms with that myself, of I'm just going to be me. Because I think so long the corporate space, or the spaces that weren't really necessarily built for us, doesn't allow us to even explore who we are. So I was like, oh, how do I say this grammatically correct? But most specifically for me, like how I never really had time to really sit and think like, well, who am I? Like what makes me tick? What makes me do all that stuff? And so, I mean, as you know, the past few years, well, 3 years, I've been heavily involved in trying to decipher that. But now, and especially with the website, 'cause the website is down, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, this is exactly who I envision myself to be. But do I actually show up like it? Or do I kind of tailor, which I'm really good at, tailor it to the audience or whoever I'm around? And so it's like, no, be Judge Lynn. Because she's like, and she'll say it. She'll be like, you know, I'm old. I think she told the guy, she was like, I'm over 60 years old. I don't know any of this jargon, so you're going to have to speak to me plain or something like that. And being okay with that. And I think 2 things for me. One, I see that as, well, does she have that respect because she already has a platform that is flourishing? And obviously, like, she's a judge, so who gonna correct her? Or look down on her in any way, because, like, she's a judge. She owns that space. And who am I to even try to equate to that? But then at the same time, I'm like, well, if my clients are, and I think I said this the other day, if they coming to me, obviously I have some authority here. Some type of, they've already bought into something to where they want to work with me. So why not just own that space?
Yeah. And even you had to tell me that, like, because I remember there was some time where, especially with my like website design service, because you know they expect like not me to be doing that. So like it just made me feel kind of like an imposter sometimes. But like at the end of the day, like I know how to code these things. So if like, and in the way of like, because I believe websites don't just, we talk about all the time whenever I look at these governmental websites, like it doesn't always just have to be functional or just have to be like, oh, it fills a need.
Half the
It
time
can
they're
look
not
good.
functional.
Right. Like, but it can look good.
And be functional.
Like you guys could like at least take some time with design. Like, but it's like I still felt like an imposter, not an imposter, but still felt like other people weren't taking me seriously. And I felt like I had to overcompensate until honestly you and Dr. Rochelle, and I was just like, if I just make their websites and I'll just make their websites and they'll just have the best websites.
I'll take that.
Like, because it's not like I'm not going to jump through hoops trying to like prove myself to somebody when it's like, it's kind of like when I was working in sports medicine, like I'm not going to beg y'all to work.
Hello.
Like I know how to do this skill. If you want to pay for it, because coding a website takes a long time. And so like it's not like, I understand people, a lot of people now are like, oh, I can get somebody in Timbuktu to do it or like whatever, like the virtual assistants or whatever. And that's fine, you go get them. Because I'm not going to be sitting all day and all night coding your website for you to pay me $2.
Exactly.
Just because you see a Black woman on the other side of the screen and you don't believe that she is worth the amount of money you pay everybody else.
Yep.
But
absolutely agree. And that's always like the burden. I won't even say it's a challenge because it's not a challenge to me. If you don't want to pay me the value I gave you, then
I'm out.
I hope you could find somebody else at that value. But I also know you would not even entertain that type of conversation if it wasn't this Black woman on the other side. So I have to constantly remember that. And that's it is what it is. And I too feel like functionally, I am really good at what I do. I am really good at obviously with the HR background that I have, I'm really good at identifying what the problem is and trying to identify the solutions. And you get more than that. I'm more than just solving your problem. I am also investing in ensuring that you can sustain the solution over time. And then working with you to vision how you can build off of that foundation that we built together. That is time and money. And I think when folks, and I've seen it on the social groups that I'm in where they're like, hey, I'm seeking an HR consultant to do this, that, and the third. Yeah, I can achieve your project. The question is, when I leave, because I will be leaving, when I leave, are you going to be able to sustain what I built? And then how is that going to impact your overall organizational structure? So I feel that folks should consider the value being more than just the work getting done, but also what are you getting along with that work? I was working with one of my clients and he was saying, well, it is what it is. He was saying that, how did he say it? He was saying that, yes, I can do what my boss is asking me to do. And I'm doing it. And I feel like I'm just a robot and I'm just checking all the boxes and I'm not engaging with my team or building any type of legacy for myself or for the department that he runs. And so that in itself, I was like, well, let's unpack that. And I feel that I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of employers out there, whether you're employing a contractor like me and my sister, or an employee, you forget when you're identifying how much value you want to add to the engagement, that you're getting more than just the work being done.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting their expertise, you're getting their historical knowledge from wherever they came from, but also you're getting a human being that can possibly drive a lot more, I guess, non-tangible or intrinsic support to whatever culture you're trying to build. Yeah. And I think we lost sight of there is value in community and culture.
Well, I feel like because we have such an automated generation now, like
True.
You can do everything on ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. So you expect life to be like that, and it's not. Like I find the same in like events when people want you to do events, right? Mm-hmm. And that is one, because I remember us having this conversation and me settling with the fact that like my event services may not be for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's got to be okay. But like when I first started, I was like, no matter the budget, we'll make it work.
You did.
And that's not, it's not realistic in the way that I can't give you what it is you're asking for, because that requires a certain budget. So like in the beginning, a couple of events that I did was at a loss because I, finally did the financials or whatever. And like, there's a lot of things that I made myself because I know how to do it. So there's a lot of like platters I custom made and like all of these things, and having to buy materials, having to buy the wood, having to buy a bunch of the stuff. And it was at a loss for the event. So it's like, I now have to be more, I guess, selective in like who I entertain, because then if you do not have the budget to do the event period, to do what it is you want to do for the event, and now it looks bad on me. Because with your budget, I cannot make such and such happen, because such and such cannot happen with your budget. It's just the facts. Because in the future, which I'm excited to talk about later, but like in the future, I'm going to have people to pay.
Right.
So like, if you want this to be successful, it can't just be me with your conference of like 200 plus people. I need to be able to bring a team so that my team can be in the different rooms and do what it is they need to do. And that comes with some, which I've noticed, like once figuring that out, and then once also, not that these are disadvantages,
right?
But like once figuring that out, and then once also being like, I'm going to also be who I am. I now know that I need to put myself in different rooms, and a lot of different rooms, because I don't show up in these places as a straight white man. So it's like my be who I am. There's a lot of people, as we've seen now, all of a sudden, don't nobody like any minorities, which is crazy because everybody was saying all the nonsense in 2020, but now nobody likes minorities.
They're still eating our food.
All the creations, all the inventions, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody's trying to make a statement,
right,
with their business, which is crazy. But everybody's trying to make a statement with their business. I mean, not too crazy, because I'll be making a statement with mine. But I need to be in multiple rooms and quickly, right, in more rooms, so I can figure out who my people are. And then the second I meet those people, then their circle will also be like them, because like attracts like.
Right.
So it's just like you have to find that one. But there is definitely a transitional period where you're going from the people that you used to entertain to the people that, and I use the term entertain because in the sense of like you're playing a part. But yeah, said all that to say, like, I just, I'm happy that we're having this conversation because I'm sure that there's somebody out there that's like thinking about starting a business and like you have to figure out how it is you want to do, what it is you're going to do. And I really hope that our conversations here, although we be talking about some nonsense sometimes, which we need to talk about Salt Lake City, but I know we be talking about some nonsense sometimes, but I hope that you can take what we say and it will put you that much further on your journey so you don't have to go through it for months like we did to learn the lesson. Like you can just like skip to the next part.
Right. And I thought we would talk about Salt Lake City after we have another episode because that first episode was not.
Well, that's all we need to say.
Okay.
They done wasted our time.
They wasted our complete time. And as business owners, we ain't got time to waste. No, I'm kidding.
But don't like foreshadow Lisa Barlow if she's not going to be in the episode.
Hello. Anywho, I will reserve my comments.
Because I don't want to talk about the first one and the second one because I'm not going to remember the first one.
There didn't much happen in the first other than them trying to.
I will say we are transitioning to the next topic.
Okay.
I will say if you invite me somewhere and you send me an invitation with a beach and you say bikinis and da-da-da and da-da-da.
Yeah, bikinis, boots, and
margaritas, I think.
Margaritas? Which, I don't know.
And I pack all these bags. People need to learn how to leave. And I pack all these bags. And you put me on a Winnebago.
Oh, I was going to set foot on it. As soon as it drove up. Well, first of all, why are we meeting at some shopping center?
Because that was, I think, Heather's place.
Oh, so, missed that.
Smart.
I missed that.
She gonna get that promotion. We saw it be built.
Right. Well, she needs to do that because the book didn't really
I
gain
think it did.
traction.
It did amongst their community.
Exactly, like I said.
It wasn't. She didn't write it for us. We're not Mormon.
That's true. You're right. Well, neither is she.
Well, we were. But if people, well, we'll wait for their book. Because the sentencing is today. More to come on that. I think we can talk about it.
Yeah, well, Salt Lake City. Close out.
Okay, Salt Lake City. But if you take me on a like Winnebago and then now I'm in the middle of a junkyard and you're calling it a like camping place, turn this car around.
Turn it around.
I'm not staying out here at night. You know how dangerous that is?
Especially when the host says, now we're on the Winnebago, right? But the host says, oh, I only saw the place on the website.
Right. That's
you
what people
didn't visit?
I'm calling and they have husbands. I'm calling my husband. He's going to come pick me up.
Exactly.
Because absolutely not. But the next topic.
Yes, more to come with Salt Lake City for sure.
Yeah.
Because one, Lisa Barlow wasn't on the first episode, and that already I zoned out. And two, nothing happened.
I think I'm going to write notes though, because nothing did happen, but I want to start being able to see or learn like in real time how to respond to somebody like manipulating you when they're talking to you.
Yeah.
Because like there was a lot of that.
Fireside chat?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. And it was just really interesting to see because I feel like I catch on a little more now after, what did we just get finished watching? When the people and they kept crying and there was no tears. We didn't just finish it, but we used to watch it.
Oh.
It was coming on while Atlanta was coming on.
Married to Medicine?
No.
It was coming on while Atlanta was coming on.
I don't know.
Oh, was it the Southern people, Southern Charm?
Maybe.
Which that hasn't come back, huh?
I don't think it's coming back.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's really interesting and maybe people don't realize they're doing it, although I think they do.
They know. Just narcissists.
Oh, it was me. you weren't watching this. I was watching The Valley with like
Oh yeah, I don't watch.
them, the Vanderpump Rules people. Well, not anymore, but seeing like, you know, just them on the show and just seeing how people will fully manipulate you at a dinner table. And then
In front of your face.
crazy when like they start to make you feel like you're crazy, and everybody's just like looking and agreeing. And I want to be able to detect it before it spirals, because it's like a long time ago there was a sermon that Pogue said, and it was like, when somebody's trying to, well, he was talking about the devil or whatever, but I don't really believe in it anymore. But he was like, when the devil's trying to get you off course, the devil doesn't just like throw everything out and then put you completely off course. He'll just like move something 1 degree. And so you won't notice until time goes on. And you keep getting further, right? You keep getting further from your path and like where you're supposed to be in life. Great life lesson. Although I'm not religious, great life lesson. So like, and then by the time, you know, next thing you know, you look up and you're way off your path.
Right.
So I feel like that's a lot that was happening in that conversation. Whereas like Brittany said something. That's her name, right? The girl that was standing up. Because they said something about Lisa and Lisa wasn't there. And then Brittany said something.
Stood up for.
Right. And then, you know, people said stuff. But then it turned into the other girl like crying like without tears, as what often happens. Whitney. And then it became about like how sad it was and like how her business was like, oh, well, my business was not just about that, but you were just talking about Lisa's business, which is why Brittany said something in the first place. But because everybody else looked at Brittany like, oh, you're a horrible person, which they just don't like you. And so you can just move on.
Just catch on.
Yeah, they just don't like you. And it's not safe, first of all, to be in the woods with people who don't like you. But neither here nor there. But it was interesting to see her then have to apologize because everybody was looking at her like she was a horrible person when, like, first of all, this girl talked about Lisa's business. And then you said, don't
unprovoked, mind you.
And then she said, don't talk about the business. And she's not here. And then,
what didn't she say?
And then she was like, well, we don't want to talk about how you get your money, basically calling her a prostitute. And then she was like, okay, well then let's talk about your business. You selling the fake whatever jewelry, from Alibaba, girl. And then she started crying to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you'll talk about my business. And you'll talk about like, I don't want to have a failed business. And like, no, like successful business owner has a failed. First of all, every successful business owner has a failed business.
Absolutely.
So relax. You're still on track to be a successful business owner. I've had a failed business.
Same.
So like, it is what it is. And then you do another one. Now you don't scam people. Yo, the people out here scamming people,
right?
Which we'll get into our next conversation. But like, just start your business. Anyway, I will turn it over to you to explain because you read the article, or you just know.
I read the article and somehow I got put in a group chat or
well, maybe we don't need the group chat information. Maybe we just need an
article as of today states, and of course it's not up anymore. Today, Bishop Sidney Powell was
staccato.
This is the wrong Powell. There's a lot of Powells out there. Let me put the right.
Well, I can give our overview, but I'm not going to say too much, obviously.
Well, that's why I wanted to get the actual.
We grew up in the Bay Area, and we used to go to a church, in the Amy Zion Church, and so that's why this story is close to us. One, because it could have been a couple of our dollars in there, but two.
Yeah, because it was since 2017.
We saw the more seasoned saints like raise money to make sure the church had the roof, raise money to make sure the church had like the glass thing, all these things. We were in church often and always. And then so color me surprised when the story came out. About, well, not too surprised, but about Bishop Staccato Powell. And I will now turn it over to Shanice, hoping that she found the article.
Yes, well, there's a few. So I want to make sure I tailor this so it doesn't sound like clickbait or anything like that. But Bishop, headline, former bishop pleads guilty for defrauding parishes, including, do we want to name the churches?
No.
These are historically Black churches in the western region of these United States, of over $2 million. He pled guilty, and as of today, his maximum penalty would be 20 years in prison with a $250,000 fine for each count. And I believe there are 5 or 6.
I thought it was $8 million.
Yeah, I thought so too. So it seems
he's only pleading guilty to $2 million
because he had an accessory
who
I will not name. She also pleaded guilty. Pled guilty. Yeah, her sentencing has already happened. Today we get the final sentencing for the bishop. Here's my thing. Because this has been in the news, but also within the rumor mill, whatever, of the religious population here in the Bay Area for a few months now. And from what I've been hearing, has me a bit concerned. So there's this constant conversation that, oh, well, this has happened before. So as long as they are resilient and prayed up, it would all be fine.
Oh, y'all must have money. Because what? Where's the money?
And it's one of those things where my business brain turns on, and though my feelings are still somewhat sprinkled in it, that's a lot of money that y'all are going to want to fundraise for to get back to Black. And guess who you're going to pass your plates to in this crashing economy? So once again, it hurts me that once again within our Black community, we have to continuously fix what others who have no common sense break based on the pockets of basically the poor.
The least,
the least.
The least of these.
Yeah, like it's, and the response is stay prayed up. The money is gone. Like, what are we praying for?
But also, okay, the money's gone, fine. But also, where is it? Because you pled to $2 million, and I want to see an itemized receipt of where $8 million, because $8 million is missing.
$8 million is missing.
So what, you can plead to $2 million all you want. $8 million's missing. What on God's green earth did you spend $8 million on? And how did nobody notice that you were spending $8 million?
I'm not going to read this. Never mind. If you are curious on what exactly is going on, feel free to go out there, because I guess as of today, a lot of things are being released, including statements from said historical church and their board. I'll share that with you later. Janelle.
We can just put it in like a folder.
We could.
We can just share the link. Is it linkable?
Oh, it's a link. It's part of their
article.
It's a release of their publication. I'm trying not to say, but their official publication released a statement from their board.
Of the Board of Bishops. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm going to say it because y'all, I mean, it's interesting that we're never shy when it comes to asking for the money. So no need to be shy for this, because honestly, if you don't talk about it, it can happen again. Like,
and supposedly it's been happening multiple times.
Right.
Within this past few years.
But I'm saying that, like, now that
Probably
you see
occurring
it's
right now.
possible. So if a bishop comes to you and is like, hey, sign this,
Read
I'm sure
it.
the pastors now are going to be like, what exactly am I signing?
Exactly. Read it.
And which is interesting too, because now you're seeing that there is a, what is it called? Like, when there's like a mess up in the production line. But now you're seeing that there is
a mess up in the production.
or like the line of authority. Like there's now that you see that there is an oversight.
Oh. That sounds like malfunction.
Now you see, because if a bishop is coming to you,
the checks and balances completely off.
Like in our previous, we used to be a part of this denomination, and there, like, the bishops decide where you go, and there are some churches that are more desired than others. So like, if you say no to the bishop now, or if the bishop doesn't like you, whatever, and like they'll say that they don't do this, they do. Okay, we're not dumb. We had to be at church all day. We've seen it. Like when something goes awry, and then they'll be like, "Oh, he got sent to a church in
Timbuktu,
right?" Or he got sent to a church in Atlanta. I don't know.
Atlanta. It would be like a podunk town.
Yeah,
nowhere.
But like, well, let me not say it.
Yes.
But we know it happens.
Yes. We've seen it happen twice.
Right. So you feel like you do need to sign this thing because the bishop is asking you to do it. They should not have any authority to ask you they shouldn't even be a part of that process.
Exactly.
That needs to be a whole separate person. Again, and I say this loud because and I know I've said this often, like, I'm not religious, because like I was loud and often when I was religious. So I'm going to be just as loud and often when I'm not. So I may not be religious, but I know operations. So like, if you want to make sure that this doesn't happen again, and if you are doing, everything that you're saying that you're doing, which I believe you're lying, but everything that you say that you're doing for the betterment of the community, now it's time to reorganize some things so this stuff never happens. It's not time to just turn around and just like be like, oh, well, that was them, or like, let me point fingers at everybody else.
Yeah.
And da. No, everybody was blinded to this. So fix it so it doesn't happen again. And demand an itemized receipt. Because what are you spending $8 million on?
So they did identify where most of the money went. Because there is a third party. And supposedly this is not that third party's first rodeo.
What?
In doing this for against a denomination.
Oh, the lender. Or the person.
Mm-hmm. So most of that money obviously went to him. But Bishop Powell paid off a house, bought a few things, and so did his accessory. So it's just one of those things where I absolutely agree. Look at your operations, assess where it all went wrong, and put those stopgaps in place that are not tied to the overall church community. So I think that's another thing that seems to be a blind spot. I think for any church or denomination, they have individuals in certain positions that have a stake in the game. Like they're either members of that church or members of the denomination. You need an external party. And I know sometimes to folks that sounds so, we don't want anyone else, in our business. But
y'all need somebody.
Anyone to give you a different perspective, a different lens on whatever decision you are making before you sign that document or hand over those keys.
And I hate it when people are like, oh, church is a business. And like, yeah. But what type of business are you running?
Exactly.
Run a good business. And first of all, hire an HR. Hire an HR person, because
that part.
Y'all got the people in there that been touching the kids, they doing inappropriate things.
Yes, but don't hire us after the fact now.
Right.
We ain't coming to do cleanup.
Hire them now. Now is the time to hire the HR person for your church. Hire an external financial person.
Yep.
Hire that. You are a nonprofit organization.
Exactly.
Hire that out.
You should
There's
have a
no
team.
reason that, first of all, unqualified. Like that is the first time. Well, growing up, and looking back, I realize people haven't even taken an accounting class on the trustee board. Why?
All because they're volunteering their time.
Correct.
And that's a beautiful thing.
But evidently you guys had $8 million to miss, which means that you had more than $8 million.
Correct.
So like, let's stop. Like, I know there are a lot of parsonages that are being paid for, and that's like understandable, whatever, in the hills. But like, let's reallocate some of those funds and then make sure that you have a functional business that is running well.
Right.
If you are to say that church is a business, quit scamming people, because you'll be more successful. Even if money is your goal, you'll be more successful if you do a business that is like decent and in order.
And that's the whole thing. He'd be in my head. That's the only thing that came to mind. I was like, none of this is decent and in order. Y'all preach that from the pulpit.
Right.
And let me just take it outside of church for a split second. All nonprofits should have an advisory board. I can care less how long you've been operating. Not going to go there. We're going to stay here. All nonprofits should have an advisory board that is external to the community and the membership of your organization. You need checks and balances, and that's the only way you're going to get it.
Yeah. Because now you see, I feel like that's the only place where you get to do, like, anybody just gets to say anything. And like you say, like, oh, well, this is what we believe, and you run with it. Like all the people on TikTok right now talking about the rapture. It's supposed to be today. So like, we're recording this on Tuesday. You'll see it on Thursday. But like, we're recording this on Tuesday where they're talking about like, oh, the rapture is going to be today. And, you know, we're not supposed to be here tomorrow. First of all, like, who? Don't threaten me with a good time.
Exactly.
Because like, do you see the state of the world? Like, who are you trying to scare? Like, it's getting stupid. And you guys have been saying this all the time.
Yeah.
And your word says, your word. Nobody will know the day or the time. That's what it says. That's something that you claim to believe in, which is so annoying to like know the book that you no longer believe in, but you hear somebody say something that is not biblically accurate and they claim to live and die by the Bible.
Yeah, and it also said that there will be signs such as false prophets. But yet y'all keep following these false prophets and add into their bank accounts.
Like, we need to have some like critical thinking skills, and the false prophets have been around forever. So like, every single time something happens to be like, oh, we're living in the end times. Technically, you're always living in the end times. And the end times, you don't even know when your end time is going to be. So you don't need to even worry about the end times.
Just get yourself ready, that's all.
But
do right.
Said all that to say, they would benefit from some checks and balances.
Because you can't have, and that's with any business, you can't have checks and balances within the same group of people, the same board of bishops, or the same trustee, or the same people who go there every Sunday in that upper room. You can't.
So they can have an attitude with you on Sunday. Or be saying something from the pulpit, like throwing subliminals. We sat through hell of those.
And the fact that we knew what they were talking about,
like,
as children up till now,
messy.
It's too messy. And to avoid that mess, because you're gonna get, I mean, with any group of people, you're gonna have mess. But to avoid this type of mess, headline-worthy mess, get an external party
and get like
of support.
Like, you know, for example, like your bank account. Well, my bank account. I don't know if yours does this. But like, I can set it up to where if I spend a certain amount of money, I will get alerted. So like, I put mine, because I'm trying to, you know, every little thing, but I put mine on like $5. So anything over $5, I'm alerted. Or the same, like, I forgot where I was working and they gave us all cards and they were like,
you can purchase card.
You can spend up to like $100, I think it was, or like it was $2,000 a day. But because I was like operations, I had to use my card for like bigger things, but it's like anything over like $2,000, I now have to get a signature from the director of finance,
Correct.
and then the director of operations,
Correct.
to approve of me
That
spending
amount.
this money. Correct. Or it would have to just come out of the big account. So it's like, put those things in place, because unless you're, I mean, you can steal $1 a day for 8 million days, but it's going to take you some time. So it's like, there needs to be more people signing off on something if it's going to be over a certain amount of money. And I'm not really sure how the money was stolen or like whatever. Like, I know they took out loans, but it's like, if, for example, my business, anything that my business is on, it's going to require me to be notified that my business is on it.
Right. And when it comes to, because those signatory steps are built in. Anyone who is setting up any type of business, most specifically one that has a financial impact, they have to already put that in. The problem is, I believe, the problem is you have you and your wife as the signers.
Yeah.
Or you have this person here who's also the same lateral officer as this person here. You can't have people in the same household sign off on the same thing. That's not checks and balances. I can care less what their titles are. If they have any type of personal or just a relationship that is beyond the work, they cannot have the same level of authority, or one cannot be signing off on behalf of the other.
Yeah.
You have to have some type of external or ad hoc or independent individual to sign off on that stuff. And I think I haven't looked at all the court papers yet, because I've been waiting for today, so it'll be all laid out. But I think that's what happened. The pastor signed off, and then when it hit a certain mark, whatever that mark is, he signed off. His accessory, whatever the term is, his partner signed off, and then he signed off.
And
but him and his partner were already
right in cahoots. I also think it will, in terms of the lay people, and I think it may have been different because while we were growing up, we had very strong women that were, first of all, really smart. They were really smart, but like also really strong in the sense of like, I'm not going to just blindly go with whatever it is that you're saying.
Show me.
Right. And so, and there were many of meetings that they spoke up and where I've noticed like now it's like, you can't even question a pastor. You can't question a pastor. You can't question a bishop. You can't question any of it. And it's like, you have to have this like blind reverence to them. And I think it would be beneficial to get out of that. Get out of that. Even if you're a lay person, I don't care if you came in off the street. If somebody's telling you something, first of all, you listen to God. So if somebody is telling you something that is not right, and that goes against what God is telling you is right, who cares about who these people are?
I can care less what your title is.
Correct. Like, and maybe I'm just really good, evidently, at like not breaking people down, but like in my mind, because I just talked about how I view the billionaires. So maybe I'm just really good at doing that. But like, it's a practice skill. You bleed just like they bleed. God talks to you just like God talks to them. In this specific denomination, we believed God talks to all of us. We didn't have to go through anybody to get to God.
There's no intercessor.
Correct. And that was constantly like preached to like set us apart from like Catholic religion. Yeah. And that was like the boast, like, oh, well, God talks to all of us. Okay, let's start listening to God then. Let's start listening to God. And if somebody tells you to do something, I don't care what their position is. If it is not right, if it is not sound, if it is not decent and in order, don't do it. And it's never too late, because the people who are in church right now, you're the seasoned saints. The young people just ain't up in y'all's church. Not in this old, they may be in the churches in LA, the non-denominational churches, but if you are not, young people not in your church, and we're not coming back. Some people may come back, but don't come over here. But it's like, if this is something that you want to keep around, and I would hope you do, because your legacy. You paid for that roof. You paid for that glass. You paid for the new carpet. You paid for what else new was there in our timeline?
Well, that wall I hit.
Oh my God. You paid for that new kitchen. So it's like, protect it. Protect it. Because anybody that comes in there, preacher as well, is a visitor.
Yep.
That is your home. Protect it. So yeah, those are my strong feelings.
Mm-hmm. So that's today.
I
That's
thought
our
you had a
conversation.
closing.
Oh no.
Or like it's something else to say.
Because again, I'm waiting for it all the cards to lay out. Because I know what's gonna happen. No, I don't. I'm waiting for all the cards to lay out before I share
like your final thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to hear your final thoughts, and maybe we can do a part 2 because I'm not going to read it. I'm telling you that right now. I thought they was going to put it on the TV.
I thought so
they can just tell us everything that happens. But
I mean, I understood their explanation as to why I guess it's not at the level. They called it something. I can't remember. I guess it's the type of.
If I can see on TV somebody's like marriage falling apart or them trying to be like, who's the dad to this baby?
Very true.
Then we can see this.
Now I'm sure there is, what are they called? Like journalists and media there right now in San Francisco recording. So maybe they'll stream that.
Maybe.
After the fact.
But I just want to, I hope, before I close out, I hope that everybody wakes up and stands up.
Right. And I hope they're not relying on the courts, because just like you couldn't rely on this bishop to do what's right, you can't necessarily rely on the courts to do what is necessary for the justice that you feel you deserve. Like Janelle, this is your church home. I'll be darned if someone came up here and sold off my deed.
I know that's right. Imagine.
I wish somebody would trick me into well, I don't know if it was a trick. I haven't read everything.
Right.
But somehow had my signature on something that signed off my house.
But also, because like the people still going there, don't let a random person on the internet care more about your church than you do. Like, don't let me well, I guess I'm not too random. So
we ain't random.
But like, don't let me care more about it
still
than
got
you
our
do.
photos
and I
on the
understand
wall.
like you go there every Sunday and all the things, but like don't, because if I had the money right now, I would have just bought it.
I would have bought it outright.
So it can never happen again. Because it doesn't make sense that it even happened in the first place.
Especially when you already done paid it.
So don't be out-cared by me. But that was that.
There'll be a building fund.
So, and that's really to everybody too. Don't let nobody on the job try to force you to sign nothing you don't feel like is right.
Because I've been in that position before. I've been asked.
Contact Shanice.
I've been asked to sign things that wholeheartedly I did not feel, and I said, I'm not signing this. You can fire me. And there were movements to fire me, but I left before they could. But like, I'm not signing something, one, I don't understand, but two, that I do understand and know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And know the impacts of it. And all these leaders out there who are looking at lay people, whether in business or church or wherever, and you think they stupid, they not.
Yeah.
They're not. They know exactly what's happening, which is why you are hiding or omitting information.
Yep. Stop it.
Yep. Let them make a decision. Let them make a sound decision, because it's their money at the end of the day.
Right.
But
thank you for listening to our conversation.
We appreciate you.
Because there is, like, we're not going to technically preach about honesty and being your authentic self and not being able to have like these like more authentic conversations about like our history and like the things that are happening right now. So thank you all. The related details will be in the description. So the links to the things, Shanice sent me the link. So the links to the things, and I think that's all we needed to do today because we didn't like mention anybody.
Other than the president of Mexico. You go, girl.
So,
Woman. Leader.
If you want to contact us, you can use the bio site link. And at the bottom of the bio site link, there'll be like a reach out to us, whatever, and it will take you to a Google form to where you can like write your message and we will get it. Thank you to those who sent stuff thus far. It was interesting reading your messages. And that is all. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.